Remember all of those unexcused absences? In multiple videos, Malinda's hands were cuffed and her legs were shackled. She was often shackled to various pieces of furniture too, for example, like an air hockey table in the basement. As I said, she would be forced to do these strenuous exercises even when she was shackled. She would have to walk in place, she would have to do squats. She was also forced to hold what they called stress positions, like a squat, for very long periods of time. Authorities even discovered that while Malinda was attending online school, her feet were still shackled. She was chained to the furniture. The shackles and the chains were just placed in a way that they couldn't be seen on camera. We've seen so much of that since the pandemic, right? Where people are wearing, a suit and tie up top and pajama pants on the bottom because nobody can tell the difference. That's kind of the same thing here, but in a much darker and disturbing way, where she's being seen on camera from the top up, but from the waist down, she is shackled and handcuffed to furniture. And while they were doing all of this, Cindy and Rendle would just verbally yell at her, berate her, and in one video, Cindy can even be heard saying, "Keep moving, and don't look for breakfast or lunch tomorrow, because you're not getting it, and you won't get dinner either, because I'm not getting up." Investigators discovered that the very first conversation between Rendle and Cindy about harming and injuring Malinda started all the way back in 2021. And from June to September of 2022, Malinda was repeatedly not given food, water. She was constantly forced to hold those stress positions. And then in February and March of 2023, Malinda missed almost a month of school because she had been injured so badly. Cindy and Rendle couldn't cover up the injuries, so because of that, they just made her stay home so that it would avoid any suspicion. And throughout all of 2021, all the way until 2024, there were multiple messages where they were discussing how they were planning to hide the injuries on Malinda. The first video of her being shackled was from December of 2023, just a few months after they installed cameras inside the home. And in April of 2024, 1 month before she died, they also rubbed soap in Malinda's eyes. And this was so bad that it caused her to have vision impairment. The last recovered photo of Malinda alive was from May 3rd, 2024, a day before she was pronounced dead. And in this photo, Malinda has a bruise on her eye and this mucus-like fluid that is coming out of her nose. Investigators believe that that mucus likely indicated that she had some sort of brain injury. Also, on May 3rd, the family went camping at a nearby park, and I believe that Malinda went with them because a witness did report seeing a girl standing outside, completely in these wet clothes, outside of the tent or outside of whatever they were camping in. Then, through text messages recovered between Cindy and Rendle, they discovered that Malinda had lost consciousness between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. on May 4th. But remember, they didn't even call the police until 7:30 p.m. So around 4 a.m., they drove Malinda home from the park, and there's a video of her slumped in the back seat while Cindy and Rendle try to wake her up. When they got home, instead of trying to tend to her or call a doctor, they instead brought her into the house and shackled her to that air hockey table in the basement. And in one of the videos taken during this time period, Cindy actually refers to Malinda as a bitch. So hours go by with Malinda being unconscious, and they still didn't call 911, they didn't bring her to the hospital, they didn't do anything, and according to them, it's because they thought that Malinda was faking being unconscious.